What's going on, guys? Alright, so welcome to part 5 of the 6R80 swap. This evening, I picked up one of these cheap Harbor Freight transmission jacks. So far it's been okay, but got the transmission up in place. It's kind of in there. The converter bolts are almost peeking through. I think I have just one that's peeking through. It's way up there. I ain't gonna see it. But this is just a test fit. This ain't getting the transmission in the car. I don't have the space or anything on it yet. I was trying to just see what type of clearance I have, and so far everything's looking pretty good. Like I said on the last video, those top bolts up there are going to suck because there's very little room, so I may have to put those on when I jack the whole transmission up. But like I said, this is just getting it in place and see what I need to beat on with a hammer, but everything's looking pretty good. I'm actually quite surprised. I was kind of worried about right there. Looks like I might need to some, but I mean, really the transmission's in place. It's just gotta go forward just a little bit more and it'll be there. But so far everything's looking pretty good. But like I said, I gotta pull the transmission back out and put the spacer on. And I still need to verify the converter. All the bolt holes do go completely through straight, but I don't think that's the issue right now. Everything looking like it's going pretty straight. I think it might be buying up there on that pin up there, or the dowel up there. They might be buying up on that, but everything's looking pretty good. Like I said, everything's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna pull it down anyways, because I need to put the power by the hour lines in on the transmission. Go ahead and do that while it's down. It'd be a little bit easier than have it pulled up. And I need to pull that bracket off right there. That bracket right there needs to come off, because it comes with a new adapter, or new bracket with the shifter kit. But yeah, guys, I'm probably just gonna call it a night, because I was expecting to get this far tonight. I was just gonna wheel underneath the car and just call it a day, but that's as far as I got with it. But at least I kind of got an idea of how it's gonna fit. And I took a few pictures while I was up there to see what type of clearance we have. But guys, like I said, I'm just gonna call it a night, and we'll get back after it probably this weekend.
Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so I'm actually in the middle of getting this 6R80 in the car. I've had to do some things to get this to work. So as far as my setup, my turbo's mounted onto the frame here, so I had to unbolt it from the frame, disconnect the charge pipe. What else? I think that's about it. I knew that was going to interfere with the angle of the motor. So got a block here up here on the crank. So I had to angle this motor back some. Reason because the top two bolts, the very top of the transmission, were a pain to get to. As you can see, I got the transmission in, but we'll go in more detail on that in a second. Get some light here. I'll show you the bolts I'm talking about. You can see back there or not. The bolt back there at the very top, right there on the top of the firewall, and the passenger side. The passenger side suck worse. So like I said, I got this engine tilted back, which helped a lot. Took about 3 feet extension to get that in, but I got both of them in. Apologize I didn't show you the converter part and everything, but I just kind of got after it last night and worked on it a little bit this evening, or this morning, and
forgot I was supposed to be making a video here. So, got the inverter in, everything lined up. One thing I had to do was not going to get around it. Alright, so this pop bearing spacer, I guess you want to call it, that goes on to the converter, and this part right here, the smaller part, goes into the crank. So test fitting it didn't allow the converter bolts go completely through or through the flex plate or set flush. So based on the instructions, if it does not fits flush onto the flex plate, you take this out. And it's saying do not use it and just mount it up to the flex plate as so, which I was kind of leery about, only because say something happens, I shear all four of those bolts off the flex plate or something. What does that mean? The flywheel, the other flywheel with the pressure, the torque converter is not going to go forward. It's actually the center part of the converter actually is barely into the crank, so it's not going to go any further, maybe an 1/8 inch. But after testing on it, it does line up and everything, and I didn't have any problems getting the transmission into the car. It slid right in, which is unbelievable. But it did slide in. My biggest problem was just getting the top 2 bolts. This pretty much was consuming most of my time today. But the transmission is technically in the car. I do have 2 bolts up here. You can see or not. 2 bolts that go up to the top here. Two little bolts. Didn't come with any lock washers, so I have some lock washers I'm gonna use. I'm gonna put on them so they don't back out. And I got one more bolt goes here. It's a little bit different. This one's got a Allen head on it. I don't know what exactly it's used for, but that one goes right there. So I'm gonna put a lock washer on that as well. Rest of them have lock washers on them. So top's got lock washers. So I'm gonna put 2 lock washers on the ones that go up here on both sides and the one right here. And that pretty much be it. We'll get the transmission pushed back up, get the engine back where it was, and we can fix like the charge pipe and everything up on the motor. And the next we gonna work on getting the cross support together. Did pick up some bolts from O'Reilly's because the transmission didn't come in bolts. I finally found a bolt sitting around the house or around the garage that actually went in, fit real well. So I got 3 new bolts for that. And I think after that we can measure the dry shaft and we get that ordered up, because we will need a custom dry shaft for this application. And I found a company, I can't think of the name, but I did find a company will build me a aluminum dry shaft. Will support 1,000 horsepower for this setup. So alright, so everything's bolted in. Next I need to put the bolts into the converter. All the studs are through the flex plate. I got the bolts I need to put in. Forgot to mention too, I did put some transmission fluid into the converter. It took about 1.5 quarts, close to 2 quarts of transmission fluid. Got the converter filled before we stuck it in. Need to put the bolts onto the flywheel. And then next I'll probably work on getting the cooler lines that mounted up, and then swap out that bracket there. The new shifter comes with the new bracket. Actually, this will actually just go do a 180, and this for me the shift linkage. But other than that, that's got quite a bit done, I guess. Putting the transmission took quite a bit of time to do. Didn't really have to do any massaging around here. I did do a little bit up here where the transmission meets the engine. I did do a little massage in there. It did look pretty tight. What I did do a test fit. It was tight. I did use a big hammer, massaged it a little bit up there. Everywhere else looked good. There's plenty of room. There's a lot here. You can see there's plenty of room in the tunnel. So, like I said, I just massaged it up there by where the engine meets or the transmission meets the engine. Up there top, where the top bolt holes are. Massage it there. And that's about it. Like I said, we're going to work on the cooler lines. Probably go ahead and do that bracket for the shifting linkage. And I need to put the converter bolts in. We'll probably do the converter bolts first. Get that knocked out. And we'll work on this. Alright, so got the converter bolted up to the flex plate here. I just use a wrench, big socket, well, something like that, to just turn the engine over so I can get to all the bolts. There's 4 of them. They're all bolted up. So this is pretty much done. Got the starter in place. I'm going to have to shorten my bolts up. I think top bolt might be alright, but this bottom bolt is too long, so I'm going to have to shorten that one down. But I think what I'm going to do next, probably going to keep starter as it is right now. I want to get the lines for the trans cooler done, and work on the mount, or the crossover mount for the transmission, because we do have to order the drive shaft. It'll probably take about a week and a half to get. I'll put a link down below the company I'm ordering it through. I don't remember who it is, but they can build me a drive shaft. Like I said, they'll support 1,000 horsepower, 3.5 inch, and everything. So want to get that, well, the core line's done. That'd be simple. I should just pop right in with the bolt and work on the crossover. Alright, so the piece I got here for the trans cooler lines is a power by the hour kit, which go right here. Got these all cleaned up. Got me some little bit of transmission fluid here. Just put on the seals here, and not gonna fully tighten it down because may need to clock these a little different. Depends how we're gonna run our lines and all. But at least we can get this in here. Got the bolt, and at least get it in and have that ready when we start building our lines for a cooler, which is way back there. And we still need a wire as well, but at least we'll have that done as well, and we'll start working on this cross member. Alright, so working on the cross member for the transmission, or a cross member support. So you will need to drill into the frame for the new transmission cross support, because you will not be using the stock supports. Had to do a little cutting here on my subframe connectors. Mine was kind of sticking out a little bit. If you've been with me for quite a bit of time, you know I put these in a long time ago. You can tell my not so great welding job. But I decided to just cut this section out because this is where the mount will go, which is right there. That one will go right here. I haven't drilled it yet, but we'll have to drill 2 holes to the frame, clean through, and it'll bolt right up. I've already drilled that one. That one's already set. And I just gotta do this one next. So you want to get your bracket support, go all the way up to the bottom of the floor here, and mark where you need to put it. I got a little punch 2 holes in it, and just drill it. That should be it. And got all the hardware, just the mount and everything for it. Got this part bolted up to the transmission already. Kind of just in place right now, just test fitting everything. Once we get that done, we can let the transmission all the way down, and that'll be pretty much done with that. Alright, so got the mounting points bolted up to the frame of the car on both sides here. Got 2 bolts go completely through the frame and bolts in as just like that. Pretty simple. Next, we can get the the bar. Get the bar in, get it set up, get to put bushings on it, and bolt right up. I also noticed too, you can also adjust this bracket here. It bolts right to the transmission. Just loosen the bolts up and go up or down with it. So I'm gonna play with that a little bit. I may need to go up with it just a little bit. Yeah, we should be good. So I'm gonna test fit it once again, and it should be good. Should bolt right up pretty good with a little bit of adjusting. I might have to drop the transmission just a hair, and that should about do it. Alright guys, the transmission is officially in the car. Jack's all the way down. It's hard to see, but she clears the tunnel just fine. Like I said, only massage was back or the front of the transmission, where the transmission meets the engine. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Well guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully gives you an idea how to install a 6R80 here in the Fox. But I guess I'm gonna call it a night, because I've been after this pretty much all day, working on trying to get that transmission in. Was giving me a little issues, but got it in. But got it in, and next I guess we'll work on transcooler, work on lines for that, and get that run, and probably do the linkage for the shifter. We'll get that taken care of. But alright guys, so gonna wrap up the video here. Hopefully you liked it. I appreciate the tips along the way and everything. But until next time guys, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.